Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmania's rogue speaker is laying down the parliamentary law as she continues to butt heads with political heavyweights. No one escaped the firing line today as Sue Hickey took a new, tougher stance, leaving her relationship with the Labor Party in doubt.
Rebel Speaker Sue Hickey on the warpath, fed up after a frustrating week.
Some instances of very aggressive behaviour would not be tolerated in any modern workplace. I have news for you. They won't be tolerated here either. I consider it a form of bullying.
This is the moment just a year ago when Labor and the Greens worked together to elect the unlikely Speaker. The Liberal member voting against her own party at times and threatening to go independent. But today there was no love lost between the rogue Speaker and her once allies in question time.
Have you heard of Speaker's precedent?
Well, I understand the standing orders indicate...
Yeah, which standing order?
Well, I'll just draw that to your attention, Madam.
No, I ask you to sit down and stop causing trouble.
I do suggest that I absolutely wasn't.
Are you questioning the chair again? May I suggest you sit down?
Tense moments on all sides after she handed out warning after warning, culminating in the Labor leader getting kicked out.
I'm going to ask you to leave the chamber, Leader of the Opposition, because that is completely unruly.
Outside, she was not happy.
That's a matter for the people to judge as to whether or not they think Sue Hickey can be taken on her word. This week she likes the government. Last week she didn't like the government. She'll be held accountable ultimately by the people of Clark.
I suspect, however, that Madam Speaker is frustrated because Labor keeps trying to use her interactions with the Liberal Party for political purposes.
A once good political relationship seemingly reaching boiling point. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
The federal group has fought back against the government over its plans to end the company's poker machine monopoly in 2023. New documents have revealed federal group urged the government to extend the deed for another year, saying it required 5 years' notice for the change. But the Treasurer knocked back the plea, remaining committed to the election promise, moving to individual venue licensing.
We make no apologies for that, for enabling Tasmanians to have the choice to be able to make the decision as to whether or not they want to partake in gaming activity or not.
Last night, the Labor Party backed further away from its key election policy on gaming, voting against a Greens motion to remove pokies from pubs and clubs. For nearly 11 years, the family of Nicola Solis has searched for answers about the disappearance of the Sheffield man. On the eve of Missing Persons Week, his son is refusing to give up hope.
For Jason Solis, hope is in the hands of strangers. This Facebook page could unlock clues about what happened to his dad.
The police are getting information, but we haven't had really anything since the day that he went missing.
That day was November 17, 2008. Nicola Solis was last seen driving his silver Toyota Camry in Sheffield. The 69-year-old had recently been diagnosed with early onset dementia, and a statewide search, including ports and airports, revealed no clues.
It is hard, especially when it first happened. Like, we were very confused, didn't really know what to do, who to turn to.
Once again, they're turning to the public on the eve of Missing Persons Week. The grandfather is just one of 168 Tasmanians listed as missing since 1955.
I wouldn't say it's any easier, but it would be good to one day have an answer.
Anyone with information about a missing person is urged to contact police on 131 444. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
The Hobart zinc smelter has been bought out by a multinational company. Trafigura has become the majority owner of Nearstar's global operations overnight. There had been serious concerns about the company's viability and the security of 600 local jobs. But the new owners say the business has been restructured and strengthened. In a statement, Nearstar Hobart says it looks forward to a bright and sustainable future. A court hearing into the deaths of 16 polo ponies being transported to Victoria will now be heard in October. Charges have been laid against Spirit of Tasmania operator TT Line and 2 truck drivers in relation to the deaths in 2018. The ponies were in Tasmania for the Barnbougle polo event. The matter had been listed in Devonport Magistrates Court today. TT Line says it will vigorously fight the charges. A Tasmanian man has faced court over charges of alleged fraud, attempted fraud, forgery and uttering. Kane Scott Dello faced the Launceston Magistrates Court this afternoon over 9 charges, including allegedly obtaining credit by a false pretence to the value of $59,000. The 38-year-old did not enter a plea. He was released on bail to reappear in court on August 28. A new Tasmanian partnership is set to promote the message of speaking up about mental health. Clenant's Mitre 10 is pledging $30,000 a year for 3 years to Speak Up, Stay Chatty, helping to support the organisation's work in schools and the community.
I mean, this is a partnership that you'd hear about and wouldn't be surprised about. There's a lot of synergies and a lot of key messages that we spread that Clenant's take on.
The initiative includes regular workshops for Clenant's staff and fundraising opportunities in stores. An Ulverston craftsman is packing up his tools and heading off to Europe to put his cabinet-making skills to the test. Joshua Boone will face opponents from across the globe in the World Skills International Competition.
Armed with his handy tools, this woodworker is polishing up his skills ahead of an upcoming global competition after 11 years of perfecting the traditional craft.
If you really try, you'll be surprised what you can achieve. I didn't think I'd be getting this far, going to represent Australia and Russia. It's amazing.
The Ulverston cabinet maker will fly the Australian flag proud in the Russian city of Kazan this month.
Yeah, it's really big. It's been a while since Tasmania's had a representative in the Australian World Skills team. I think the last was about 20 years ago, so it's been a while.
The 22-year-old drilling his passion onto the global stage, inspired as a child by his father.
My dad's always been working around the house, fixing things, and I just sort of started helping along once I got a bit older and just really enjoy it. It's, you find something you like and you love, you just keep working at it, and I've never found a reason to stop.
He'll be constructing items in a 22-hour period against 30 top tradesmen from around the world. And after 12 months of intense preparation, the woodworker says he's up for the challenge.
Once you start working, you get in your own headspace and your own zone, you just tune everything out. You have your goal, you have your job you have to achieve, and you do that. You don't worry about what everybody else is doing.
The crafting competition begins on August 15. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmanian News.
They met as teenagers and over half a century on, they haven't left each other's side. Launceston couple Elaine and Reginald Spears today marking 60 years of married bliss, with their special diamond wedding anniversary honoured by dignitaries such as the Queen and the Prime Minister of Australia.
This only happens once in a lifetime. I haven't encountered this before. But I'm looking forward to the next 60 if I can make it.
The pair is celebrating the milestone with their 3 children tonight. Old Nick's uni review is set to confront and delight audiences when it hits local stages next month. The production takes a satirical look at local news and politics. This year's show is to a theme of The Lion King, with our state and federal politicians being compared to some of the much-loved characters.
Jackie Lambie's a hyena, so is Bob Catter and Clive Palmer.
Yep.
So they play the hyenas that sort of surround themselves with the Prime Minister. We've got Tanya Plibersek, obviously playing the Nala role.
The Lion King is showing at Launceston's Princess Theatre and Hobart's Theatre Royal in September.
To the TSL now, and the coaches of North Hobart and the Tigers are looking forward to locking horns this weekend. The teams are starting to build up a healthy rivalry, with both coaches relishing the matchup.
It's a young but growing rivalry between the Tigers and Demons.
It's good to have a bit of spice in the contest. It's good to have, something to look forward to.
And I just think you want to
You want people talking about it. You want people talking about the matchups.
Kingborough has won 4 of the last 5 contests against North, but they're reeling from a disappointing loss to Lauderdale. The coach says his midfield group will need to be better this week.
Our midfield for themselves have put themselves on notice. They've got to win first hands on ball for us and get it in our area.
And he's backing rising star Will Poland to match up against the Demons' dangerous forward Colin Garland.
Will plays fullback for us. He plays on all the key forwards in the competition, so we'll give him first crack at it.
North is coming off an upset win over Launceston. The coach says while it was a big achievement for the club, the team's moved on.
Touched again on Tuesday night. Just because you've knocked off the form side of the competition doesn't mean you're just naturally going to roll out there and beat the Tigers.
Launceston has spent the week resetting after that defeat. Coach Mitch Thorpe says the result was a wake-up call.
Possibly thought we're just going to roll out and it would just happen, and we gave them far too great a head start.
They face North Launceston in the derby this week, with the coach keen to atone.
They've had the wood over us for a long period now, so we're looking to turn that back in our favour.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmanian News.
South Hobart coach Ken Morton has praised his side's effort after their 3-0 loss to Marconi in the FFA Cup last night. 2 goals in the first half helped the Stallions secure the win in front of nearly 3,000 at Blunston Arena.
Disappointed but proud. That's how Ken Morton is feeling about South Hobart's performance last night.
Super proud of them. A magnificent effort. I think a magnificent effort from the football club.
And undermanned South were under the pump early on, with Marconi nearly scoring in the first minute.
Dangerous. This one slipped over the top. A dangerous chance for Andrew here. Right comes out.
The Sydney side also brought some physicality to the match, with Alex Walter forced off after a heavy challenge.
They do it very, very well. I mean, it's a style of playing, a way they want to play. They have the bodies to do that.
Marconi broke the deadlock via a penalty in the 36th minute. Declan Foley was controversially judged to have handballed. They then doubled their lead 4 minutes later.
2 in the middle, one of them's Yesic, and Yesic just doubled their advantage. Deflects into the back of the net.
South could have scored on half-time, Darcy Hall missing a golden opportunity. Damien Sekensis then sealed the match in the 89th minute via a corner. While South never gave in, Ken says their opponents were tough to break.
That cutting edge as well gives them the edges also, but defensively very, very strong right round the park.
The team has the bye this weekend to recover before targeting a top 2 finish in the NPL.
Finishing second in the league and winning the Lacquer Cup, that makes it a strong season for the club.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmanian News.
The Final Four's decided, but there's still plenty to play for in the final round of the Tasmanian Netball League. Arrows will claim the minor premiership if they beat Corona.
Securing the win will put us on the top on percentage. The top 3 teams are very close this year. We've all beaten each other.
Meanwhile, Kingston take on against Cripps. They lost to Arrows by goal last week, but are still full of belief.
Really in the last few seconds of the game, so we really just have the belief that we can get it over the line now.
First fast for both matches is at 8:10 tomorrow night.
Good evening. 13 degrees today in Hobart. Launceston actually had the States top today with a top of 17 after a frosty start. 15 in Burnie with 16 in Devonport. St Helens hit 16 today. 15 degrees for Cressy, Wynyard and Fingal. 14 for Low Head, Campania, Bushy Park, Ouse and the Bass Strait Islands. 13 for Scottsdale, Smithton and Grove with 6 the top for Lyweenie. Low-level cloud across most of the state today. High clouds streaming from the Central Highlands into the east. Low cloud sits over southeastern parts of Australia and along the eastern seaboard, the latter linked to the surface trough, but pretty much clear conditions elsewhere. Tomorrow shows a high pressure system dominating the country. Closer in, westerly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots, shifting northwesterly during the day and increasing to 20 to 30 knots, winds reaching 30 to 40 about the south with seas between 2 and 4 metres. There's a gale warning current for southern and coastal waters, a strong wind warning for western, northern and lower eastern waters, as well as a small craft wind alert for the southwest and the Central Lakes. There's also a road weather alert warning of icy conditions for most districts. 13 tomorrow in Hobart and Huonville, 14 for Campania. 14 and sunny in Launceston, 13 degrees in Devonport, 12 for Georgetown with early frost there, 12 degrees in Burnie and Strawn, some showers, 13 and cloudy for Wynyard, with a sunny day in the east, 14 degrees for St Helens, 15 at Swansea and 12 for Port Arthur with a few clouds. Showers extending to most parts on Saturday, fine for Sunday, just some light showers through the west, with showers for the west and the north on Monday, but pretty fine conditions elsewhere. Taking a look at your capital cities now, Perth 24 degrees, Adelaide and Canberra 15, 14 with showers for Melbourne, 19 in Sydney, Brisbane 22 with 25 degrees in Cairns. And a few clouds about this evening, and it's 9 degrees in Hobart, Launceston and Devonport. Joe, our energy saving tip from our friends at Aurora tonight, only run the load of washing or a dishwasher when it's full. But it doesn't matter for me, it's takeaway, so no washing up at my house.
Ah, the joys of being single. Thank you very much for that, mate. And that's all from the team for now. Thanks so much for your company. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Bye-bye.